So when you're using a two-handed blade, the concept of centering the sword in the center of your body is critical for having equal extension in both arms. If I move it off to one side, I physically cannot extend this arm this way because this arm is holding it back. I move it off to this side, same thing occurs. I'm able to extend this arm, but this one has to be bent to hold on. But when I bring these right into the center of my body, I can extend both of the arms equally. There will be a very slight difference depending on which one's your dominant hand, but it's not too bad if you have your hands close together, like we covered in our grip video. This is centering in relation to your body and your blade. You also need to have a proper center line onto your target. Your center line is sort of an invisible, magical line that goes right between the chest of your opponent and your own chest. You imagine this is my opponent and the line of him connects to my chest. This is the center line. This is what we're attempting to disrupt with crump pows. We're attempting to collect the blade off of it. We're attempting to thrust in on this line. It all kind of occurs there. This connection between the center line between two people and your own personal centering is very important if you want to be a good fighter. I take my step and I attack my post. Woo! I did it. Cool. Not terribly exciting. However, what if I'm throwing this attack and I'm not thinking about my centering? I may intentionally go off center, but let's just say I'm not thinking about it, right? The first one I did cut with good centering. And how do I know? You should see that this post is between either one of my legs. If I were offset, so that the post is on my left, or that the post is on my right, I'm centered offline of the post now. My centering dictates where my center is, so I need to get that lined up with where I want to hit if I'm going to make this work right. So for example, say I intentionally shift myself over so that my left leg is centered with the post. So one last example, correctly centered. You can see post, handle, center of body, it's all in line, more or less. Now I shift over just a few inches. So now I am no longer centered. My center line is no longer connecting to the post. It's to the right of the post. Now when I do my attack, if I do a natural correct attack, I'm going to be hitting low on the post. If you are intending to do that, this could be a technique. I want to strike your leg, so I step off to the right and I cut lower than I would be otherwise. However, if you were intending to hit high up on the post and you step offline, you are going to compensate, and you're going to compensate in bad ways. So what did I have to do to compensate? I need to drive my hands across my body so that I am no longer centered. I'm compensating with some small mechanical things that I've learned from my Zornhau, but if I actually cut this even better, you would really see that my arms have to do very awkward things here to compensate for being this far off to the left. We have a connection at our shoulders that connects to our blade. We rotate about our center. The sword can only move in so many ways if I keep my arms somewhat smooth, somewhat straight in front of me. When I shove them off to the side though, they do weird things. So when you're doing your cuts, when you first center up, make sure that you're centering so that your center is pointing at the center of the post. That one of your legs is on one side of the post, one of your legs is on the other. After your cut, all those things should still be true. If I've overstepped with my rear leg, now you can see that the post is not straight out in front of my center. My right leg is not on the right side of the post, it's on the left. My left side is also on the left. If I try to fix my stance back to here, it's not the worst stance in terms of balance and in terms of what I can do from here, But now, like, in order to hit this, my center of gravity is just a gentle nudge from pushing me over. Hey, camera guy, can you just poke me? Dang it. Remember, there's the centering of your arms and your sword to your chest. If you're in a square stance, that's going to be directly in the middle of your feet, just straight out in front of you. Once you step, it's actually still the same. You'll just feel that the rotation of your hips is starting to affect you. When you attack with a bunch of power, don't let all this go out the window. Don't turn your toe. What I tell people to focus on is driving their hip straight forward. Thinking about themselves that this foot, the rear foot, is not moving on an arc around. You should be envisioning driving that rear leg straight forward, driving that right foot forward. My opponent, my oppostant. It's bad. What?